It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome, NBA fans. Ernie Johnson here with you again, and we've got Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal, and we're all amped up for this early season game. Moments away, it'll be the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder in their house, Chesapeake Energy Arena. Checking out Oklahoma City. This is a team they played pretty well against last season, going 3-1. They'll look to keep that edge tonight. And what a beginning to the season. We've had some amazing plays, some huge games. Shaq, for the teams that have gotten out to a fast start, how do they go about maintaining that momentum?
Well, it's called PPM, Arnie. Perseverance, physically and mentally. Put your hands up, Arnie. Put your hands up, Kenny.
Okay.
Touch it.
All right.
Join hands. You just got to ride the wave and don't overthink it. Bring it back, Kenny. Oh, there you go. Ride the wave. Don't overthink. One last time. Ride the wave. There you go.
Oh,
Bring it back. Yeah.
I
and
think
then
I get it.
Yeah.
I got it.
I call my hands.
What does that have to do with maintaining that momentum?
You got to ride the wave, Arnie.
Oh, okay.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Well,
Have you got something that doesn't require physical demonstration?
Well, I just say that your hands were very soft. I just want to say that. You do a good job of, moisturizing.
Moisturizing.
Yeah,
yes.
you do.
You
And
know
I think
what it was? It was some of that gold bond. Man up, Ernie.
Oh, my goodness, man. Well, let's just keep improving and see what happens.
Let's go courtside. Kevin Harlan has the call.
K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
From Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 2K Sports proudly brings you the Thunder at the Peak at the Chesapeake Energy Arena. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Doris Burke, our game analysts, and from the sideline, David Aldridge. So for the Thunder, their last game, a loss to Utah in Salt Lake City.
They're the visiting team. It's a loud arena, very distracting at times, but simply no excuse for missing a ton of free throws.
Well, I couldn't agree more, Greg. Situations like that you hope build character, but they need to knock down the free throws, bottom line.
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Butler teams with Wiggins as the deadly wing duo. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle, and it's Teague in at the 1 spot. Well, you talk about the very definition of what a defensive specialist is, Doris, and that is Andre Robertson.
Right. What you love about Robertson is he can match up with multiple positions on the defensive end. One thing you worry about, obviously, is teams when he is on the offensive end, they're going to give him a lot of shots because he's yet to prove he can consistently knock those down.
Here's Teague following the basket by Russell Westbrook. And Robertson kicks to Westbrook. Oklahoma City moving the ball around. That one falls coming off Anthony's feet. Westbrook's got his second basket.
I like to watch Russell Westbrook mix it up inside. This guy can jump, shoot, drive it, or if you give him a close window, he'll finish that as well.
And they double up Butler. And Gibson kicks to Teague. Excellent D there from Anthony. For Oklahoma City, they've gotten their first 3 shots to go in for him to start off this game. And that one's good. George.
Boy, 4 for 4 to get things started. Must have been a good shoot-around this morning.
Teague against Westbrook. Teague the pass to Towns to stop the run. And it's good on the way in.
Boy, great footwork by Cat. He's really worked on keeping a wide base, maintaining his balance.
Here's Westbrook. Count the basket. Westbrook's got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
Heating up early on. This is exactly how he wanted to start the night.
You're right. I mean, he's found his rhythm early. The defense has got to do a better job guarding him from this point on.
Now, here's Teague. This game he had 10 points. Down low. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Teague's got his first basket of the night.
Well, I'll tell you what, impeccable work from Jeff Teague inside, showing great patience down the lane.
A nice shot by George.
This is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
Timberwolves have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Teague kicks to Gibson. Outside Butler, and the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George. Cuts off the pass. And here we go with Adams running it up the court. And it's Anthony with the jam.
And jumping out like this, man, you automatically start thinking blowout.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they've been aggressive and assertive right from the opening tip. They've seized command of this game. Let's see what happens.
Now, here's Butler. He had 13 points in the win against Utah.
And it was a big game for him. Stop it! Oh, the ease with which he elevates Wiggins with a highlight move that time.
That was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Well, Doris, you've said this many times. Few players as competitive as Russell Westbrook in the league. He goes full speed from start to finish, and you get the feeling he would play the entire game if his coach let him.
What I love most about Russell Westbrook is how much this guy just loves to compete. And it's that mentality that allows him to take over games, even if things aren't falling his way. It's hard to think of a guy who wants to win more in the league.
He dishes it to Anthony. George, that's a 2-pointer. Minnesota with the rebound. They're getting their first look at the Thunder in this one.
Yeah, and these teams pretty familiar with one another. They'll face off 4 times this year.
And typically, the better they know each other, the more competitive they become. And expect this first meeting to be extremely spirited.
And that one's good, Anthony.
Oh, great ball movement there.
So it's Minnesota now, trailing by 10. Timeout called, first of the game for Minnesota. Maybe too soon to start talking about this, Doris, but we see some young teams getting blown out. Clearly they're in rebuild mode. At what point do you start to focus on player development versus winning games?
You know, this is such a tough organizational issue because you have to balance the priority of giving your young talent an opportunity to get the repetition necessary in a playing environment in a competitive situation versus we owe a commitment to our fans to win and win at a high level because they're paying the ticket prices and ultimately, you know, playing a part in our success. So I think some of this has to be, where are we at the midway point? Are we legitimately in playoff contention, or is it time to now focus on our player development? This is an organizational decision that has to happen organically over 82 games.
And you know what losing does to a culture? It can disintegrate a culture.
No, it's a great point. You do not want young players to get comfortable with losing. You are so right about that, Kevin.
And you watch the Thunder play, and they are just so physical with teams. They will bump you inside and outside and do everything they can do to let you know they are going to lock things down.
Well, look up and down the roster, Kevin, and you're going to see very physical players. Steven Adams and Russell Westbrook set the tone. But you can't expect to play the Thunder and not be needing a little ice bath after the game.
And now a fast break for the Thunder. George has got the ball. George missing again.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to give your offense a chance, and that possession didn't do it.
Not at all, Greg. I mean, no reason for him to be taking these kinds of shots. He has only himself to blame.
And it's Paul George with the foul. That's his first foul. Towns with it. Now defended by Adams. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Boy, how bright is the future for Karl Anthony Towns. The guy's already putting up 25 and 12 in his second year. This guy led every big man in double-doubles last year. He dominates every category you want a big man to impact.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
And it's early, but obviously you've got to like the dominance down low. They're simply bullying the other team right now.
Butler dishes to Wiggins. Towns the screen. Shot off the screen. It's hauled in by Adams. And talking about Towns, Doris, in his double-doubles last season, ended up being 3rd overall amongst all players, trailing only Westbrook and Harden. Not bad company at all.
Well, yeah, there's no question. It's amazing to me, Kev, how easy Karl Anthony Towns makes it look. He puts huge numbers up on a nightly basis, and to be honest, he's going to be regarded very soon as the best big man in the league.
And George drops them both.
Well, it's not hard to see what makes Paul George an exceptional player. He does it all for this team, one of the best players in the entire NBA.
They double him with George. Paul George with the steal. Pushing it up. Here's Westbrook. Oh!
My goodness, is there anything better than watching Westbrook hammer at home? My goodness gracious, Russell.
Timberwolves trail by 14. Towns the screen. Outside Butler. Back to Teague. Towns the screen. Jumper off the screen. Count that bucket.
Well, I really like how active Jeff Teague is staying on the offensive end of the floor. He positions himself well off the screen.
Here's Anthony. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. 6 points for Carmelo Anthony.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Anthony on the double team. Wiggins with it. George picks him up. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. Let's send it over to David Aldridge, who caught up with head coach Tom Thibodeau. D.A.?
Thanks, Kevin. When we talked about his team's game plan coming into the matchup, I addressed the shot blocking and the demoralizing effect that team has, and he said that could be a factor psychologically as well as physically. The key for us is to play unselfishly, draw the help, and kick the ball to the open man. If we execute our offense well, we'll be fine. Kevin?
That's great, David. Thanks. They've got their hands full against a team that plays such tough D.
And that's why you got to be flexible in terms of your game plan, particularly on the offensive end. They might have to try a few different approaches till they find one that works.
Well, I agree, because I don't think anything's coming easy for them tonight. They know it's almost impossible to score in bunches against this team. You've got to grind it out.
Westbrook against T. Poked away. Just 5 to shoot. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time. With this break, we have a chance to break down where the assist has been coming from tonight between the front and backcourt for the Thunder.
And those bigs have done a great job of creating for others. They've caught the defense off guard time and time again with their unselfish play.
And Oklahoma City making a change here. Patterson's checked in. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
There's the double team with Westbrook. Teague with a clean look. Off target from outside.
And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay. And when you build a big lead like this, especially early, you have to guard against the letdown.
No, exactly right. You can't afford to get complacent, right? They have to stay hungry and humble if they want to keep this lead.
Minnesota calls timeout.
Well, obviously, the biggest impact Steven Adams has for this team is his ability to be a defensive force in the middle. This guy carves up space, takes away any would-be penetrators, solid rim protection, just an unbelievable guy on the interior.
More on Adams, Doris. Not only is he a shot-blocking presence, but also will come up with a good amount of steals for a big man.
And that's an area, Kev, where Adams has really improved recently. For his size, he's got great agility and great anticipation in the paint. And I like that there's no hesitation to rotate and challenge any player he switches onto.
Remus is checked in for Roberson. Timberwolves also changing it up. Jang, he's checked in for Gibson. Crawford comes in for Butler. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Teague. Towns a screen on Westbrook. Back to Crawford. Gets the three-pointer to fall.
And they can't allow him too many open looks like that. That's just inviting trouble.
Here's Westbrook. The shot will not fall, so Minnesota will take it the other way. Here's Wiggins. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
The D slow to rotate, and he misses out on an easy chance from mid-range.
It's rebounded by Towns.
If you try something like that, you better be sure to complete it.
13 feet away. Tries again. He kicks it to Jones. Good, and the assist goes to Towns.
What a quick read by Towns, always keeping his head up.
Here's George. Wiggins with the rebound.
That's just superb interior defense, not allowing him a free run to the rim.
Tipped away. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City. Here's George.
Boom!
Oh, my God.
That's how you attack. Wow.
How'd he do that? Now, Paul George is an exceptional athlete and demonstrating his insane dunking skills there. Get this guy in the dunk competition.
Jones against Westbrook. There's the double team with Westbrook. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City. George with the ball.
That kept the speed in transition. Paul George is dynamic in space.
Timberwolves trail by 17. Outside, Jones. There's the double team with Westbrook. Jones with it. Westbrook picks him up. Pass to Crawford. 5 to shoot. Wiggins from outside. They get it back. Towns. And the whistle blows, so a chance here for a three-point play. Muhammad, he's checked in for Wiggins. The Timberwolves shooting their third free throw shot of the game. Well, Towns does so many things on the floor, already an elite post scorer. But Greg, one area that he has struggled with at times is his defense against other bigs.
And I think he'll continue to improve in that area. What happens with young guys, though, is oftentimes you're improved how good I am mode when you're young, and you lose sight of some of the things that help you win games. And I think that's one reason why he had one of the worst defensive RPMs in the entire league. But young bigs tend to take a bit longer to develop into great defenders, and I expect he will follow in that line.
Oh, Kevin, that's not an easy play. Paul George is an extraordinary player. Keeps his eye on the bucket at all times.
Paul George with the steal. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Good. I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders.
A different look for Oklahoma City. Grant comes in for Adams. And it's Felton in for Russell Westbrook. And when you watch Russell Westbrook play, he's one of the most competitive players in the NBA.
And with the way he attacks the rim and plays with just no abandon, I mean, this guy is no joke. Absolutely wills himself and his team to just do things that few others can, and relentless from the first quarter to the last whistle.
Well, you love how Paul George finishes on the drive. That is a powerful dunker right there.
Timberwolves trail by 20. Crawford kicks to Muhammad. Felton against Jones. The dish to Towns. The shot by Muhammad. Nobody around. They need this, and Towns lays it in. Towns has got 14 points for the game.
Well, you have to like their work on the boards, Kevin, particularly here to start the game.
Is Paul George the very definition of a go-to scorer? This guy is efficient from everywhere.
Jones kicks to Towns. Passes it to Muhammad. Back to Towns. And stolen by Patterson. And the dunk by Grant.
Well, that's an example of the hard work of Jeremy Grant paying off with the theft. Nicely done.
50 seconds left in the first quarter. Jones kicks to Towns. To the inside. Here's Jang. Foul on the play. Basket counts, so it'll be a three-point play chance.
Yeah, outstanding job there of taking the harm and still able to finish.
I'll tell you, Gorgui Zhang is improving and becoming a value at the center spot with all that length. He challenges shots. He's got a nice face-up touch. There's a lot to like with this guy.
Timberwolves trail by 21. Jones kicks to Muhammad. He feeds it to Crawford for three. Connects from three-point range. Crawford's got a couple of threes now in the first for the Timberwolves. Here's Patterson. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Outside, Jones. Pass to Muhammad. Dishes it to Towns. Some solid defense from Grant.
Yeah, affecting the shot in a big way there. Excellent defense.
Well, you talk about getting into the space of the shooter. This is how you defend the paint.
Paul George, he's been the guy making things happen for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Going on an absolute rampage, piling in the points. He dictated the pace of the entire quarter. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And a moment now to hear from Steven Adams as he reflects back on a life growing up as the youngest of 18 children back in New Zealand.
So, like, the youngest over there has to do everything, like all chores, pretty much 18 years of being rookie. That's pretty much all it is, and people just beat you up for no reason.
Hard to imagine growing up in such a huge family, but it sounds like maybe it prepared him for life in the NBA.
Yeah, I'd say it might have toughened him up a little bit, that's for sure. Wow, 18? That is mind-boggling.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And a very convincing performance from the Thunder so far.
Well, already in the first period, they found ways to get this offense ramped up.
Well, I think one key is they've controlled the tempo so far. And I know it's early, but it helps to have this kind of lead.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, down low, it's Jang and Towns. Jones is out there with Crawford, and it's Muhammad in at the three. Oklahoma City shooting their sixth attempt at the charity stripe in the game. George, no good on the free throw.
Well, when Paul George announced this summer that he intended to leave for the Lakers when the contract ran out, you knew what was coming. Even as a rental possibility, the suitors lined up. And eventually, the price was paid, and now George finds himself in a Thunder uniform.
And Oklahoma City making a change here. Anthony's checked in. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Well, guys, analytics has taken over the NBA, but Minnesota coach and president of basketball operations Tom Thibodeau says it doesn't tell you everything. He said analytics can measure a lot of things, but it's very difficult to measure drive. The magic is in the work. Kevin?
And Tom Thibodeau makes a good point, D.A. Analytics is certainly helpful, but it doesn't capture everything. And to many, the Thunder came out of nowhere to land George in that trade.
You know, most thought Cleveland or maybe Boston were the front runners for his services, but the Thunder snuck in and made their team a two-star squad once again. Very interesting to see how far the duo of Westbrook and George can go.
Listen, if you're open, Felton will find you. He has just such a great feel for the game.
Minnesota's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Crawford outside. Shoots the three. Crawford missing again.
He's cooled down a little bit after draining those 2 3-pointers in the first quarter.
Anthony off target at the rim. For Minnesota, they've gone 0-4 in the second quarter. Obviously, that needs to change. Crawford passes to Jang. Back to Crawford. Towns sets the pick for Crawford. Here's the teardrop. The rebound by Patterson. Thunder have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. Yep, that one goes in there. Anthony's got 8.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
In the corner, it's Jang. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2.
Well, this is an excellent mid-range shooter. Zhang also likes to set his teammates from that spot. Well, he continues to have trouble with his shot, well below 50% from the field in this period.
Wasted no time on that one. Jones has got his second bucket of the game to go.
He might not have the long-range ability of some other guys, but he will knock down open ones like that. And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
Minnesota calls timeout. Of course, you ended a very successful college career a few years before professional women's basketball was fully established. How much do you wish you could have had a chance to go pro and play in what is now the WNBA?
How about this, Kev? The last 10 minutes of my senior season, the last 10 minutes of my final game, I blow out my knee. Otherwise, I would have gone to either Sweden or Ireland to play professionally. But sure, of course I wish the WNBA was formed. It came 10 years after my graduation in 1987. Oh, what could have been.
Yeah. And Doris is thriving, right? I mean, there is such a following for the WNBA.
Last year's finals may be the most competitive in history. It's really grown leaps and bounds.
So fun to watch.
I love the complementary aspect of this group now. You know, you've got the young talent, but you've brought in some veteran leadership here for the Timberwolves. The duo of Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns kind of gave the confidence to them to go out and acquire a superstar in his prime like Jimmy Butler.
Roberson, he's checked in for Oklahoma City. Minnesota also making some changes. Taj Gibson's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teague in for Jones. Here's Jang. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Jang's got 7 points in the game. And Greg the...
Well, a convincing finish by Patrick Patterson, giving us a demonstration of the kind of power he has at his disposal.
Minnesota's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. And they double up Butler. Gibson dishes to Jang. The kick out to T. The pass to Muhammad. And stolen by Patterson. Here's Anthony. Makes that one his 6th of the night. Shooting a very healthy 6 for 9.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
I'll tell you, got to admire the energy. This guy really wants to put this one away.
T kicks to Muhammad. There's the feed to Butler. Zhang, a screen. Butler with the ball. Guarded now by Patrick Patterson. 5 on the clock. That's tipped, and that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession.
And with a moment, let's check out the stats for Felton, how he did last season. He put up about 6 points per game last season, 2 assists and 2 rebounds. And those numbers, solid, not spectacular, and sometimes what you see is what you get.
There's no doubt. This is a guy who understands his role, knows he's got to give you quality minutes, and that's what they expect from him.
Minnesota making a switch here. Wiggins is checked in. Basket counts. Wiggins has got his second bucket of the night.
Oh, really smooth. Andrew Wiggins with a terrific mid-range game.
Here's Anthony. Rebound by Zhang. Zhang's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Outside Butler. Kicks it to T. Anthony on the double team. And Gibson wide open. He shoots. Offline with the baseline jumper. To the inside. Got it. Good job in the low post. Patterson's got 8 points.
But, Kev, that's just an example of Patrick Patterson being determined as a finisher. He was in tight spaces, and he still makes the shot. That's nice.
Patterson bringing the double. Gibson passes to Butler. Wiggins kicks to Butler. Gibson with the screen on Anthony. Here's Zhang. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Zhang's got 6 in the quarter.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Anthony. Banked in off the glass.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
Teague dishes to Wiggins. Feeds it to Butler for 3. The rebound by Grant. Grant's got 3 rebounds now in this one. And again, it's Carmelo Anthony. He's got 16.
Nicely done. They continue to attack inside, and that's 10 points in a row in the paint.
Teague, the pass to Wiggins. He dishes it to Gibson. Wiggins outside. Outside Teague. From deep. There's his 3rd field goal, and now he's made half of his 6 shots.
This is Jeff Teague's go-to shot. I mean, he's a deadly three-point shooter who never hesitates.
And the dunk by Grant.
The offense is running well, but more importantly, they're taking the shots they know they can make.
Well, they haven't had to force anything. They're simply moving the ball and working for the best available shot.
And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. It's going to be on Andrew Wiggins. The Thunder shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here. For the Thunder, Steven Adams, he's checked in for Patterson. And it's Russell Westbrook in for Raymond Felton. And Andre Robertson is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. Here's Teague. He has 7. He kicks to Butler. Zhang, a screen. Just 5 on the clock. Gibson setting a pick for Wiggins.
Well, this is a tough night so far. They'd be smart to rely more on a couple of their other options. Well, you think about Tom Thibodeau as the architect of so many great defensive teams. For Minnesota, it took some time on the defensive end, but he feels like this team is starting to turn a corner on that end.
Pass to Zhang. On the wing, Wiggins. Teague for 3. They get it again. Some solid defense from Grant. This could get even more out of hand if they continue to put up points.
Wow, Kevin, what a performance we are seeing.
Here's Adams. That shot misses. And Minnesota will come the other way. Next up will be a home game matched up against the Pacers. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. Yep, it counts. And that's now 6 points for Andrew Wiggins. And for Thibodeau, you simply can't play for him unless you exert maximum effort on defense. Doris, he can be tough but fair in what he demands.
Well, as long as you're willing to work hard every single day on every possession, you can play for Tom Thibodeau. This is a guy who constantly preaches the importance of the little things, and he wants proper defense to become second nature for his team.
Paul George is checked in for Jeremy Grant. So it's the Timberwolves now. There's the double team with Westbrook. Paul George with the steal. Over Teague. Westbrook, no good. The Timberwolves shooting just 39% in the second quarter. Teague kicks to Butler. Back to Teague. This one for three. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Teague's got 6 here in this quarter.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
And it's in there.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
There's the dish to Butler, and they double up Butler. Got a piece of it, stolen by George. And now here's George, the fast break opportunity.
You know, you love your star players making others better, and Melo with the vision there.
Teague with the ball. He's got 10. Jang with the ball. Now defended by Adams. Teague for 3. Poke loose. And here's the break. Here's Roberson. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. We see a chart here for the shooting performance so far for George.
This is the shot chart of a dominant performance. I mean, he's taking a lot of shots because right now he believes that every shot he does take is going in. And who can blame him with the way he's played? Simply outstanding work coming from him.
Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Jang.
And we haven't seen them get to the line as much here in the second quarter. They might be settling a tad too much offensively.
They get a hand on it. And now Westbrook pushing it up. No one back to stop him. And finished off by Westbrook.
How about the instincts of Russell Westbrook on the defensive end? Gives his teammate an easy chance there.
Here's Teague. And there's a minute 45 left now here in the second. Count that one. Teague's got 12.
I tell you, get the feeling he's only going to get better as this game wears on. That first quarter was good. His second quarter has been great.
They're finding lanes to the consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Outside Gibson, back to Teague. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George. The 2K leaderboard provides us now with this list of last season's assist leaders. Russell Westbrook third.
Very few guys pass the ball better than he did. I mean, he didn't just have eyes in the back of his head. It's almost as if he had them on both sides, too.
Abrinas is checked in for Andre Robertson. Towns dishes to Wiggins. Jones, no one around him. Off target with his 3.
Boy, they're just giving him that shot. An easy opportunity for 3. It just slips away.
The 9-foot shot. Gibson with the steal. And here we go. Fast break. Crawford's got it. Westbrook with the block.
Oh, my goodness. Russell Westbrook twice on the pipe. Sends that shot back. My goodness.
Here's Abrinas. And there's 2 points. Working on the glass, paying off that time.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Stolen by George. And then jammed down as he goes right over Taj Gibson.
And some nights as a defender, you just shake your head because Paul George uses his outstanding reach to get through the defense.
The Timberwolves shooting here about 46% for the game. There's the double team with Westbrook. Here's Wiggins.
Oh!
Wow.
And how about just floating to the rim on that slam?
Boy, when he gets up, I mean, he gets up. George, a rebound by the Timberwolves. Gibson's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Wiggins kicks to Jones. That ball's nice feed that time from Wiggins. That's now 8 points for Tyus Jones. With 4 seconds on the clock, and that one's good. Westbrook.
All right, Kev, do you have the sense that Russell Westbrook believes he can score against anyone in the NBA? He's rolling right now.
And so it's Oklahoma City with a massive lead of 30 points here at the end of the quarter. From the field, they have been outstanding, amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Andrew, they shot the lights out in the first half. What has to change?
Get back. Focus on getting back, guarding your man, and not taking these real.
It starts with a man-on-man challenge. Thank you. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And what a show being put on here for the home fans tonight. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. An outstanding first quarter for Paul George. He had 29 points, 3 assists, and also 8 steals. Kenny, let's get your take on Oklahoma City.
Right up front, we saw the elite two-way game of Paul George. Locking down guys defensively, lesser athletes have almost no chance to score on him. And then he was in total command on the offensive end, made plays for others, and shot lights out for himself.
Shaq, what you think about Minnesota?
Well, they gave up too many good looks. You look at the field goal percentage against them, this tells the whole story. Not enough activity defensively, not enough disruption, Ernie. Like Kenny disrupts me all the time, not enough disruption.
That's it for halftime. Glad you could join us, as now we send you back to the action for the start of the third quarter.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City, everyone. You can see Chesapeake Energy Arena there in the background as the cars stream down I-40. Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. You look at Paul George in this game, guys, he's been everywhere.
And how disruptive was he in that first half? I mean, creating havoc, causing turnovers, and really energizing his team.
Well, didn't you get the sense, Greg, that this entire team fed off his energy? His remarkable effort on the defensive end really triggered this group.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game.
You know, with the influx of talent that the Wolves have had the last handful of years, they feel a pressure to win. Fans are wondering when all that talent will mature. Expectations are being raised for this group.
Westbrook and Robertson are the backcourt pair. Steven Adams is out there with Anthony, and it's George in at the 3 slot. That's the lineup in the game for Oklahoma City. Now here's Teague. And the Timberwolves, Doris, with the longest playoff drought in the league.
Well, and Kevin, I think you have seen tremendous growth with this team the last few years. But remember, they're in the unforgiving Western Conference. I think they believe the infusion of veteran talent gives them an opportunity to make the leap and get to the postseason.
And now the Timberwolves on the break. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Wiggins has got his 3rd assist on the night. The 17-footer. That misses off the backboard. The Timberwolves have gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half. Teague, the pass to Butler. Gives him the screen. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Hits the 3-point bomb. Wiggins has got 11 points.
Boy, that's terrific vision on the part of...
Oh, let's go home. That was just ridiculous.
I do not remember the last time I saw a dunk like that in a game. That Unleash Chaos Under Armour replay really giving us a good look at the action. Teague for 3. Shot number 12 goes in. He's made 7 of 12 now.
Yeah, these defenders had better start closing down on shooters.
And there's Paul George on the assist by Westbrook. And that's 31 points for Paul George.
Boy, his output has been impressive today, and it doesn't look like he's done cooking just yet.
Back to Teague. The three. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Karl Anthony Towns was voted by GMs last season as the player they most want to build a franchise around. But he is not resting on his laurels. He said, "I work hard on my game. I want to be the strongest player, the most intelligent player, and the most skilled player on the court at all times." Kevin?
Thanks, David. That work ethic will definitely help Towns get better. He's already a dynamite player. And the Timberwolves call timing. And Paul George, the 10th overall pick in 2010 out of Fresno State. I'm not sure anyone realized, Doris, he'd be this good when he first got into the league.
No, you make a great point, Kev, because the physical tools were there, but his work ethic to keep adding layers to his game has been truly a thing to watch. This guy's got a chance to win league MVP before it's all said and done.
Here to see the stats for Butler. Coming off a terrific season, he averaged 24 per clip, 5 assists and 6 rebounds. He has been at his most dynamic, no question about it, a real handful.
Let's make no mistake, one of the elite talents in the NBA and operating at the highest level right now.
Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. Pass to Wiggins. Over George. And it's Wiggins missing. The Thunder have gone 4 of 7 to get things started here in the second half. Here's Adams, and the layup's good off the glass.
Listen, we know Steven Adams is one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA. You've got to have great awareness about him on the glass.
And there's the foul. It's on Steven Adams. That's foul number 2 for him. And the Thunder making a change here. Patterson's checked in. Inside, it's stolen by Adams. Patterson inside. Gibson on him. Great D that time from Gibson. Wiggins against George. And stolen by Patterson. Now, here is George. He's covered closely.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. Teague kicks to Towns. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Teague's got 5 assists in the game. Westbrook, no good.
Boy, a little too casual on the layup. Temporary loss of focus, not good.
Westbrook with the steal. He feeds it to George. The shot that time, not on target. Wiggins with some nice D.
Boy, he's trying to shoot his way out of this slump, but it's not helping his team. That was an awful quarter. Boy, what a nice carom there, guys. He can really use that size and length to his advantage. Incredibly reliable as a scorer. He's always looking for ways to help the team succeed. It's happening again tonight.
Minnesota's gotten the three-pointer to fall to the tune of 50% here in the third quarter. They've made 3 of 6. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Wiggins has got 13 points.
Well, a case where he dominates in close, but Wiggins so versatile on offense.
And that one's good. Westbrook.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Boy, Minnesota, they've gone even 5 of 10 on shot attempts in the third. Teague with the ball. Westbrook picks him up. Towns the screen. Wiggins drawn the double team. And it's slammed in by Teague.
Jeff Teague really starting to percolate, boy. When he finds his rhythm, he is dangerous.
Westbrook can't get it to go. Timberwolves have gone a solid 6 of 11 when shooting here in the third quarter. Knocked loose. Teague against Westbrook. Stolen by Westbrook. And finished off by Westbrook.
Well, this guy knows how to do this in the open floor. Russell Westbrook in transition is the most dangerous player.
Minnesota shooting an outstanding 55% from the field since the half. You know, their execution has been on point. Teague dishes to Butler. Tipped away and stolen by Patterson. Here's George, and George with the stuff.
I'll tell you, that's the speed of Paul George on the drive. Amazing attack on the rim.
And taking care of the ball has been a problem for him.
That's something they've got to fix. While the defense has been good, a lot of these turnovers have been unforced.
Nor is something that's become popular, debating whether a player is a star or a star. To you, what's the major difference between those two thoughts?
To me, the biggest difference between star and superstar are those guys who are willing to absorb the label on a night-by-night basis and a moment-by-moment basis. You can't disappear when the stakes get high. You can't disappear on a February night in the middle of the grind pre-All-Star break. Greatness requires you to come with it every single night.
And they don't care about the conversation about them. They're bulletproof in some ways, very thick-skinned.
Very Kobe-like attribute you just referenced.
Very good comparison. Paul George with the steal. Jumps up, and George with the stuff.
Well, you love the tenacity. Paul George cannot be contained when he gets near the 10.
Here's Teague. He's got 19. Knocked away. And now Westbrook pushing it up. No one back to stop.
Oh, my goodness.
And I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen tonight. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively, turning into easy points.
Wiggins drawn the double team. Teague for 3. The rebound by Patterson. Patterson's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Here's George. And Karl Anthony Towns pulls it down. Towns has got 13 rebounds in the game. Class eating. Westbrook against Teague. Wiggins outside. 6 to shoot. Fires from 14. And the shot no good, a bit short.
Well, he carves out the space he needs, just the finish was not good.
So he gets the whistle, contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. And a moment here to look at where the shots have been coming from for the Timberwolves.
And looking at this shot chart, you can't help but feel that this entire team has played passively on offense. There has been little to nothing going on at the rim or in the paint for that matter. And when you don't attack the defense and put pressure on them down low, you are making life far too easy on them.
The one thing we saw with the Thunder last postseason, Doris, is that when Russell Westbrook comes off the floor, this team sometimes lost its direction.
Yeah, but now with Paul George in the fold, it makes sense to stagger their minutes. That way they won't have such a dramatic drop-off if Russell Westbrook leaves the floor.
Knocked loose. Grant against Jang. Grant, that's good. Grant's got 6.
That's something about all these turnovers. Right away, you're at a disadvantage defensively.
There's the double team with Grant. That's good, and so Felton has the assist there. 8 points for him.
Yeah, just continued sloppiness with the basketball. They are shooting themselves in the foot.
Towns, the screen. There's Crawford with the 3. It's hauled in by Felton.
Yeah, really frustrating right now. They just can't seem to stem the tide here.
Nothing they're doing on the defensive end is working. They've got to figure something out, and fast.
And here's Jones. He's got 8. There's the double team with Grant. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time.
Now let's take a look at Paul George, some stats on him. Last season, he played outstanding. 5th for free throw percentage, 14th in steals, and he ranked in the top 15 in points per game, one of the league's premier offensive threats.
And yeah, he was money from the charity stripe. Only a handful of players shot a better percentage last season. Tremendous asset. Here's Grant, and that one goes long.
My goodness, get right in his grill and force him to alter the shot. That's tough defense in the post.
Towns, the screen. On the wing, Jamal Crawford. He has 6. The Timberwolves again can't hit.
I'll tell you, he's not going to get in his coach's good graces if he's missing wide open looks like that.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. There's the foul. That's against Minnesota. For Oklahoma City, they have made 7 of their last 12 attempts at the line.
And a season ago, they hit about 75% of their free throws.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And Doris, as many NBA teams are doing, the Minnesota Timberwolves now have their own G League affiliate.
Well, and to me, this is a smart move by the organization, Kev, because it gives them a lot of flexibility in how they develop players. It's a very useful tool given their young talent. Only positives have come from teams purchasing G League affiliates.
Each trip down becoming more important.
And you need to string some successful offensive possessions together and play tough D.
Tips it up. Here's Towns, taken away by Felton. They push it up 4 on 3. Oh, and the jam by Anthony.
It never ceases to amaze. Melo makes putting up big numbers like this look so effortless. What a performance.
Jones kicks to Zhang. Crawford outside. That's tipped out of bounds. Oklahoma City takes possession. With the break in the action, let's show you the teams with the most second chance points last year. 5th on the list, the Thunder.
This was a team that was really savvy when it came to getting position under the boards and then getting those offensive putbacks.
Zhang tips it back in. Zhang's got 11.
You know, if you're only looking at the way he's played offensively, you think his team would have the lead.
Here's Adams. That shot off the mark. Towns with the defensive effort.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. And so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here. And the Timberwolves with possession here. Doubled by Felton. Knocked away. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Jones.
Well, that's just taking your eyes off the target before releasing the pass. Very careless.
Oklahoma City shooting it beautifully here in the third. 56% from the field. Adams' shot is off. Now Muhammad. Pass to Towns. From outside, off the mark. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Thunder out in front, opening up a huge gap. And we're coming right back after this break to get the 4th quarter underway. Now let's hear what Coach Tom Thibodeau was reviewing with his team in the huddle.
One shot, then when we make a miss, run and run through so we get some spacing. Make the game easy.
You know, guys, we hear a lot of coaches preach all this. Tom Thibodeau wanting defensive rebounding and then faster pace on offense.
Yeah, and that shows you he knows the pulse of his team. He knows that they're not quite energized. Their play rises to a whole nother level when they are.
And we're getting underway here in the 4th quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, they've got Gorgie Dang, Crawford out there with Jones. Then there's Muhammad. And it's Bielitsa in at the 4-man position.
Flying high and throwing it down with the one-hand.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys. Jones kicks to Muhammad. And again, it's Minnesota.
I think that's one thing that helps Muhammad inside against intense defensive pressure, that 7-foot wingspan.
Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession. The Timberwolves shooting well. They're at 45%. Ball's knocked loose, so another turnover for Oklahoma City. Here's Houston. He dents the rim with a two-handed slam. Wow.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
Fantastic anticipation. Then he shows major explosiveness converting at the other end.
Lays it in off the breakaway.
And we talk about this a lot. Turnovers leading to transition points.
Right, they're making it easy for the opposition. You can't afford to cough the ball up like that.
And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. And the Timberwolves making a change here. Georges Hunt is checked in. We've gone about a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. Outside, Jones, doubled by Felton. Shot clock at 5. To the paint. And Muhammad gets it to go.
Confidence is not an issue. Muhammad knows what he's doing offensively.
16 feet away. He can't get that one. The Timberwolves go the other way with it. And we're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter now. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. Hey, Doris, Shabazz Muhammad, a player that has slid nicely into that 6-man role, comes in looking to score, but does so in an efficient manner and can help his offense without taking too many shots.
Right, Kev. You don't find too many sixth men who will come and consistently shoot over 45%. Shabazz Muhammad has done exactly that, and it's rare to have that kind of efficiency off the bench.
Yeah, that's the 3rd bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Jones kicks to Georges Hunt. Fourth quarter of play, and we're about 2.5 minutes through it right now. Back to Bielitsa. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession. The Timberwolves have gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the fourth. For Oklahoma City, they've gone 5 of 6 from the field to start the fourth quarter on a roll. Abrinas' shot is off.
Man, right play, wrong result on that one. Generally, you knock those down.
Yeah, that's a surprising miss, Greg. I have a feeling if they get that shot again, they'll knock it down next time.
Here's Georges Hunt. The shot off that time. Felton with some nice D. Abrinas. Basket is good. The assist from Johnson.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
The pass to Georges Hunt. Muhammad on the wing. Shoots over Grant. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
That's exactly how you have to defend him. He's a guy that the D needs to be aware of at all times. And a long windup and strong follow-through on the one-hand jam.
Yeah, he's not going to mess that one up. Pass to Georges Hunt. Doris, one trend we've seen in the league, and emphasis on getting back defensively rather than pounding the offensive glass. I think of San Antonio a little bit when I think about that. Why is that, you think?
You know, I don't know if this is something cyclical and we'll eventually see teams emphasize getting to the offensive glass as a means to help them win. But one of the most dangerous aspects of the NBA right now is transition 3 opportunities. We're not even seeing teams get back to the hoop and build their defense out. At this point, they're sprinting to the 3-point line and then building back toward the hoop. So a drastic difference. We'll see if it changes at any point.
And the slam dunk by Johnson.
Boy, you have got to love the dime, the pass on time and on target.
For Minnesota, they've gone 4 of 10 here in the final period. Not the time to go cold. Good work defensively by Jones. Minnesota's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. That's tipped and taken away by Johnson. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City. And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
And 10 of their last 12 coming off assists.
Patterson, he's checked in for Oklahoma City. Doors, every team now is looking for bigs who can rebound, block shots, defend in the perimeter, and hit the face-up jump shot, which we've seen. But now they're moving outside. That's asking a lot of the versatility from that one position. So when you think of that, who fits the bill in your mind?
Well, the guy who was eye-popping in limited action was Mr. Joel Embiid. What a great personality and a diverse skill set on the offensive end. Anthony Davis and Karl Anthony Towns, both from the University of Kentucky, have the kind of skill set that I think makes them the prototypical next-generation NBA player. Those guys can step away, make three-point opportunities. Both can face up, put it on the deck, and go in either direction. Both can go with their back to the basket. I mean, what a luxury for those coaches to have a big man with those capabilities.
Good on the three-point shot. George's Hunt's got 5 points now this quarter.
And since halftime, they have been locked and loaded from beyond.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Knocking down triples repeatedly, the defense starting to look helpless at this point.
This is to Jones. Doris, one result of the new CBA, minimum contracts increasing 45%. That's a big help to the NBA's working class, I think.
Well, I don't think there's any question that you see increasingly role players, someone like Draymond Green, whose value has not necessarily translated in terms of points per game, but his value to winning can't be calculated. And you're right. You see important role players and guys below the superstar level increasingly becoming better compensated. And, hey, listen, there's more of the pie to go around. Who doesn't enjoy a little more cherry pie, Kev?
Good thoughts. Good thoughts. Aaron Brooks, he's checked in for Minnesota. Johnson over to help. George's Hunt kicks to Muhammad. 6 to shoot. Beyond the arc. Second shot opportunity. Nice shot by Brooks.
Well, in the rebounding game, at least, it's been a strong physical performance for him.
Here's Patterson. That one wide left. Minnesota's gotten some tough luck from three-point range. In the fourth quarter, they've hit just 1 of 6 from deep. Patterson bringing the double. Felton against Brooks. And there's the call on Felton. That's his first foul. On defense, Oklahoma City. Brooks with it. And stolen by Felton.
All you have to do is point to their turnovers this quarter. There's a reason the scoreboard looks like it does. Oh boy, to be young again.
Makes you nostalgic, doesn't it? Johnson over to help. It's stolen by Johnson. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City. And Raymond Felton the bucket on the assist by Grant.
Oh, terrific pick. Then kicks it right ahead, turning defense into offense.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect in transition, right? He knew exactly what to do after picking that ball off.
Brooks outside. There's a good screen. Here's Muhammad. Off target with his 3.
I'll tell you, his touch has been off all day, and now his judgment is starting to go by the wayside as well. That's a poor shot.
The Timberwolves shooting in the fourth quarter has looked shabby, 38%. And he's going to get whistled for that foul, G. That was intentional, but not exactly logical.
How about pointless to foul there? I mean, I don't know where his head is, but it's not in the game.
Brooks kicks to Muhammad. And Grant sends it back. Here's Johnson. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts, and a chance for one more here.
Ooh, with a player this hot, I don't see their lead going anywhere.
Doris, I've heard you talk often about instituting a play clock from the very beginnings of someone learning the game of basketball.
Kevin, I think this is absolutely critical to the future of the game of basketball here in the United States, because the Europeans right now, from the formative stages, from the youngest someone picks up the game of basketball, play under duress of the shot clock. And the reason that's important is you must be a three-tool player to play under duress of the shot clock, meaning you've got to be a triple threat. You've got to be able to pass it, dribble it, and shoot it. And to do that with the pressure of a shot clock leaning in on you from those earliest moments is significant. And I know I have the backing of guys like R.C. Buford and Rick Carlisle. They believe, more important than me, intelligent basketball people believe that in the United States, we must institute a shot clock from the time guys and young women pick up the game.
The rebound by Patterson. Here's Grant. Here's Johnson. Minnesota with the rebound. Aldridge has got 3 rebounds now in this one. And Jones has it in the corner. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Brooks. And that's 11 points for Tyus Jones.
Not too much respect shown to him by the defenders. Yeah, just solid work on the back end of that play.
Yep, you're right. Finished hard with 2 hands on that stuff. They've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, but you can't force that square peg into the round hole. Oftentimes, you just got to make that first simple pass and get a rhythm from that.
Johnson, and it's Johnson with the jam.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, and he was so quick to break on that one. A good sign that he read the play. I'll tell you, Kev, they wouldn't object if all their looks were that close.
And the slam dunk by Johnson.
Well, listen, Felton, an outstanding ball handler. He sees the floor well, zips a pass to his guys.
Jones with it. Now Felton defending. Back to Aldridge. Brooks, left side. Down low. Felton against Jones. Lets it go from 11. And again, it's Oklahoma City.
Well, the nice rise and fire on the jumper. Patterson taking advantage of the space given.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for Oklahoma City.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win. A game that not many will soon forget. And on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Paul George.
Well, I think his contribution clearly came at the defensive end, right? He came up with a bunch of huge steals. He was a menace all night long.
Here's Muhammad. Kept alive, Minnesota. And Zhang gets it to go.
Yeah, you can't afford to let Gorgui Zhang float around on the offensive glass. He's going to find a way to hurt you.
And it's Patterson finishing it off.
And that's a killer instinct on display as they try to put this one on ice.
I think that's exactly the mentality you have to have. You don't want to give this team any hope of coming back.
There's the foul. It's on Patrick Patterson. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. And that one falls for Brooks. And both free throws good for Brooks. Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. They're leading. 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Guys, what do you think?
You know, this is a timeout maybe just so they can pat each other on the back because no other reason to call it.
You know, I think it's an opportunity just for the coach to see some execution. Finish this thing out the right way.
chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Paul George.
And guys, he's been about as close to perfection as you can be. The intensity he's played with has been amazing. Just no let up. And as fired up as he's been, he's never let his emotions get out of control.
What a connection he has to these fans. They love him here. And the more he has games like this, the deeper that connection gets. .29 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Abrinas' shot is off.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
Well, if he wasn't there, that shot's going in. Love the effort on the defensive end.
Timberwolves passing it around. And Muhammad gets it to go.
Boy, that's what you call timing. He doesn't have to break stride on the pass.
And the slam dunk by Johnson.
And giving the fans what they came to see, a spirited performance.
Yeah, it really was. They wanted this home win badly, and they went out and took it.
And stolen by Patterson. So no problem for Oklahoma City as they get the win. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense. Potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where is your team's attitude right now?
Continue to, play together, and we can just stick to that. Keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you later.